this Friday evening, libu-libong PBA fans ang dumayo naman dito sa MOA Arena. Bakit nga naman hindi? It is already game number 2 ng finals dito sa ating Cebuano Luwilier PBA Commissioners Cup Playoffs. Tenorio kontra Abueva, dalawa sa paborito para sa BPC. Maghaharap na naman dito. Pero mas importante, yung best of 5 series natin kung saan lamang na mga alas 1-0. Hello everybody from inside the Mall of Asia Arena. Mag-umargin po ang inyong lingkod at ating special na makakasama sa gabing ito. One of the 25 greatest to ever play the game of basketball, Coach Ronnie Magsanok. And of course, the Dean, Kinito Enson. Coach Ronnie, unahin natin pagkwentuhan dahil game number 2 na to. Ano nga bang nangyari? Back in game number 1, tila gulpe, digulat. Simula pa lang nagsimula laro, 14-0 at natapos yung first quarter, 28-6 in favor of Alaska.
Alaska jumped the gun on the Ginebra Gin Kings by using its wanted solid defense. Eventually, they forced Ginebra to shoot only 2 of 24 at the end of the first quarter. They missed their first 12 shots, and as a result, Alaska was able to dictate the entire contest using their DNA, which is rock-solid defense.
Umabot nga ng hanggang 30 pa ang tambakan doon sa ball game na yon. Ito, no, yung held Ginebra to 70 points on 31% field goal shooting. Talagang yung depensa ng Alaska, ibang klase pinakita.
Tanging 2 field goals lamang ibinigay nila ng first quarter. 2 yan galing kay Vernon Macklin. Isang free throw kay Chris Ellis, isang free throw kay Macmac Barakel. Individual defense was excellent. Tough team defense was also very evident. Rotation and defense, double teaming Neil Vernon Macklin, and shutting down the points of attack by the Ginebra Gin Kings.
Pero itong Barangay Ginebra naman, kilala natin na hindi naman talaga sumusuko ng basta-basta. Dadin Kinito, itong si LA Tenorio talaga namang itinayo ang bandera ng barangay in that second half. Pero parang too late na hero na.
Magu Ronnie, siya yung bagong heart and soul ng Barangay Ginebra. Si LA Tenorio finishing with 14 points but only 2 assists in this game. Alam po natin, siya is the chief facilitator ng Barangay Ginebra. Siya na ang shot maker. He makes things happen for Barangay Ginebra. Makikita natin ang shot chart niya. He was only 1 out of 5 from 3-point distance, 3 out of 13 from the 2 field goal distance. But he had 8 points in the fourth period. Not enough. Too late na hero si LA Tenorio para sa Barangay Ginebra.
Yun nga po, naging problema netong barangay na napansin din naman ng ating reigning MVP na si Mark the Spark Gagiwa. Kaya ang nabanggit niya right after that game, mas gusto ko nga yung natatalo sa una. Yung 0-4 nga, nakabalik kami. Ano pa? Yung 0-1. Yan ang palaban, Coach Ronnie.
2 beses na nilang ginawa. Patay na, nabuhay pa. Ngayon ang tanong, will Mark Gagiwa be true to his word? As the Barangay Ginebra will look to live to fight another day should they win game 2 and look forward to game number 3.
Ang ating nila dito, must-win situation.
Yes.
Mahirap na kung mag-0-2 ang deficit ng Barangay Ginebra in a best of 5 series.
Masyadong mabigat.
So, yes, masyadong mabigat yun. Although, nakasurvive na nga Barangay Ginebra 4 do-or-die playoff games sa ating conference. They don't want to get to the same hole because Alaska is just too tough a defensive team to contend with.
Starters being introduced for game number 2, the Alaska Aces. Hinahanap ng ibaon na itong Barangay Ginebra in that 2-0 hole. Barangay Ginebra naman wants to make it a virtual best of 3. With a victory tonight, talaga namang mag-iiba ang complexion ng series na to.
Alam ni Coach Al Francis Chua kung ano ang nakalaan kung sakaling makalusot sila laban dito sa kuna ng Alaska here in Game 2. At alam din niya at naiintindihan niya dahil nag-coach na siya sa isang PBA Finals noong 1999 na pag hindi ka makalusot at mabaon ka ng 2 laro in a best of 5 series, napakahirap bumangon, especially as Kinito pointed out, it's a different animal, a different team that they're facing in the Alaska Aces.
Okay, nakikita natin ang starting lineup dito announced for Barangay Ginebra. Meron silang isang adjustment. But bago yan, itong starting lineup ng Alaska natin, Roger Baguio, Tos, Casio de la Cruz. But yung sinasabi natin, yung adjustment for Barangay Ginebra is si Urbis Tondo is gonna be starting. For the Kings, Baracael, Macri, Tenorio, and Raimundo also there. Reasons for Urbis Tondo being there, they want to play small, they want to quicken the pace, they want to be able to dictate tempo. At pangalawa, they want to ease the pressure from LA Tenorio in bringing up the ball, allow Tenorio to concentrate more on offense and in facilitating.
Here we go, laban ng sapula, sapute dito sa loob ng MOA Arena. The Red Shirts of Alaska will have first crack at the basket and Dozier immediately delivers the 2 points.
Itagdag na rin natin na si Josh will be called upon to defend itong si Jay Ricasio to really push Alaska to a very strong start in game number 1.
Well, that outside shot coming from Dozier, he only had 14 points in game number 1. But you know that he's capable of hitting that outside shot. He's not the go-to guy for Alaska, but he does so many other things on the floor for the Aces.
Tenorio launches a 3, punches it through!
Sabi ni Kider ko, may dahilan kung bakit pinasok si Josh Urbistondo. Para hindi mapagod si LA Tenorio, para maka-atake siya at makahanap ng puntos from the outside.
Steal by Urbistondo. Here comes Ginebra on a 3-on-2. No look to Barakael. Gets the 2 points. And Barangay Ginebra off to a solid start here in game number 2. Tandaan natin ng game number 1. 14-0 kagad yan in favor of Alaska.
Well, they're quickening the pace. Yun ang importante for Barangay Ginebra, that they are dictating kung anong tempo ng laro with their run-and-gun style.
They did not hit their first field goal in game 1 until the 5:56 mark of the first quarter. Besides, you want the 6-man right away on your back. Gusto nila mabuhay agad yung sandamukan na tao dito sa Mall of Asia
Yun
Arena.
nga, no? Alam na alam din ng mga galamay ng barangay na nandito dito sa loob ng venue. Hindi pa sila tumitira yung unang possession nila. May chance na ng Ginebra. They want their team to get off strong here.
Kasi pag-gising pa lang ng mga taga-barangay sigurado, maski na Biyernes, ang kanilang destinasyon talaga, diretso dito sa dulo ng EDSA.
Oh, by the way, just 2 seconds left on the shot clock ng Alaska. Magandang pinapakita ng depensa ng Barangay Ginebra. Active hands, they're deflecting a lot of passes from Alaska na hindi natin nakita yun sa game number 1.
Toss couldn't bail. The ace is out. Urbistondo to Barangay. Here's another 3. Not that time around. Dozier para sa rebound.
But you saw there itong si Josh Urbistondo creating that open look para dito kay Mac Barakael.
Dozier looking for Baguio. Tenorio on him. Baguio saw some space. Ginebra, tapi ka ng bola na pulot ni Urbistondo. Tenorio on the move. In traffic. Lalabas muna niya papunta kay Kirby Raimundo. 18-footer doesn't work. Macklin battling for it. Lalabas ang bola in favor of Alaska.
Again, nakita natin, Alaska doing a great job of packing the paint. A lot of big bodies inside, congesting the lane. One reason why they're doing that, to prevent Macklin to get the easy points off the offensive rebound. Alam natin si Macklin, he's an inside operator. Doesn't have an outside game. A lot of his points coming from the inside.
What a leaner galing dito kay Cyrus Baguio, taking advantage of his height over LA Tenorio.
That's the only drawback of LA Tenorio, taking care of a bigger matchup. Dozier with that fine recognition, getting that ball to Cyrus Baguio.
Raimundo at the post. Dozier bantay niya. Tumulong pa itong si Baguio. They repost. Kirby has 6 to work with. Hindi maitulak talaga itong si Robert Dozier. Urbistondo's gotta go. Barakael puts it up and in.
They need a big side shooter to be able to deliver. They need to open up the lane para kay Kirby at para kay dito kay Gina.
Nagre-reklamo yung buong coaching staff ng Alaska dahil tinaas na ng table officials yung 24-second violation pero hindi pumito yung mga officials natin sa sahig.
Hindi mo talaga maririnig sa hiyawan ng mga tao. Ngayon, ang judgment yan is ating official table.
Wala na. Inabot talaga. Naputukan sila ng 24 sa pagkakataon
Tayo
yun.
nga, di natin narinig
That looked like time had run out on the shot.
Pero the table officials, tinaas nila yung sign ng 24-second violation. Nakataas yun from the get-go.
But here's a technical foul against Alaska. Si LA Tenorio will take a technical free throw.
The crowd already becoming a factor here. Talagang walang magkarinigan dito sa loob ng MOA
Well,
Arena.
nakita natin, no? Bright lights showed around the basket area to indicate tapos na yung oras. No? Was the ball out of his hands or not? Parang bit tightrope situation. Could have been still in his hands or at least at his fingertips.
LA Tenorio makes him pay with a technical free throw. Kaya naman tinoble na ng Ginebra ang production dito ng Alaska. Casio down low to Thos. Gustong pumawi kagad ng mga Alas. The boss spinning baseline. The jump hook is short. Papi ka ng bola. Casio will recover. Fresh shot clock para dito sa Alaska. Asang alang niya. Naunahan ni Barakael. Mac on the move. Wanting to post up JV. Here's Tenorio in traffic, puts it off the glass, nothing but board. Ang kapitan ng Alaska clears
Again,
it.
just one shot here from Barangay Ginebra. Yung sinasabi natin na 1 and out. Once you take the shot and if you don't make it, the opposing team will get the defensive rebound.
Sonny Thos, those shooting blanks in this opening period, barely 4 minutes into the action. Tenorio through a Macklin pick. Pulls up for a three. Punches it through.
Ginebra shot 3 of 27 from the 3 in game 1. Ngayon, 11 puntos na sila. Mahaba pang natitira nating oras.
This is game 2 of the finals here in the Cebuana Lulier PBA playoffs. And usually, you know it's a Ginebra dugout when you hear Coach Al Francis Chua's boisterous laughter. But compared to their previous games, you have a more silent, more serious Ginebra dugout because they're saving their energy for this game too. Are they tired? Yes! Are they giving up? No! At dahil dyan, sabi nga ni Mark Cagiwa, losing game 1 is part of their triumphant journey kasi success comes with pain. Balik sa panel.
Thank you, Ms. Guevara. L.A. Tenorio all over the floor here. Natanggalan pa na sapatos doon sa scrum na yun.
By the way, nakita natin ang adjustment ng Alaska. Pinasok nila si Hasul to play alongside Casio. Nakita ni Coach Luigi Trillo that they're playing 2 quick guards with Ginebra.
Patuloy ang aksyon dito sa game number 2 ng PBA Commissioner's Cup Finals in what has already been a very eventful first 4.5 minutes of action. Barangay Ginebra sitting on an 11-4 lead kontra dito sa Alaska. The Aces looking to regroup matapos medyo nararamdaman nilang hindi pumapabro sa kanilang mga breaks so far early in this game.
Naramdaman nila rito yung initial adjustments na ginawa ng Ginebra. LA Tenorio able to score 7 of the first 11 points by the Gin Kings at nararamdaman nila yung activity ng Ginebra sa kanilang individual defense, disrupting the offensive flow of the Alaska Aces.
LA Tenorio misses on that one. Shot clock was not reset. Here's a long one from Baragael. Couldn't bail him out, pero Macklin is there. Couldn't clean it up.
As yung offensive rebound nakuha ni Vernon Macklin, that's a good sign for Barangay Ginebra. They're getting multiple possessions.
Alaska goes to the corner. RJ punches it through.
Breakout game for RJ Hasul in game 3 of that series versus the Coffee Mixers. After that, it has been going north all the way para dito kay RJ Hasul.
At Ronnie, yung RJ Hasul shooting or scoring 16 points in game number 1. Siya nagdala ng bench firepower ng Alaska. And that's big for Alaska. They can get a lot of points from the second unit and third unit players.
That wild sequence results in Baragael getting trapped. Raimundo puts it up. No go. Sonny Thos finally clears it para sa Alaska. Baguio on the run, trying to zigzag his way to the cup. Gets the basket off the glass.
Baguio is doing the right thing. Contain the points of attack nila sa kanilang half-court looks. It tries to speed up the game and go to their open court look.
That's a 5-0 run para dito sa Alaska Aces to come to within 2 points. Tenorio puts it off the glass. No, Dozier kinalawit pa yung rebound. Baguio will push it up once again. Skyros Pepreno. And Alaska will reset this attack. Thos to Casio going to the left, down the middle. Trying to feed Baguio once again. Offensive foul whistled on JB.
That time, good recovery on the part of Ginebra's defense.
As we take a look at this Prestone Cool play. Prestone Cool under pressure play on, brought to you by Prestone Coolant. Prevents overheating, works better than water alone. Now in a cool new packaging.
Baguio enjoying an advantage in the mismatch. Ang kalaban nyo dun, either Urbistondo or Tenorio, and he's enjoying that mismatch playing the 2-guard spot. Now actually slid over to the 3-guard spot with Hasul in the ball game.
Yan naman ang counter adjustment na ginawa ni Coach Luigi Trillo
Because of the quick lineup.
with a speed factor.
Macklin in trouble. 5 to shoot para sa Ginebra. Tenorio looking to bail them out. Puts it up. Oh! LA with a huge three.
10 points for LA. Tenorio, he did not score his 5th point in game 1 till the 3rd quarter of that matchup. But here today, spearheading this big blitz by the Gin Kings here in the 1st.
And already with 3 3-point conversions ang Barangay Ginebra, that's their total 3-point conversions in game number 1.
11% only total para sa mga ng Ginebra in game 1. Inaatake niya si JD Casio. Tingnan natin kung iaayos o itutuwing ni Coach Luigi yung matchup niya rito sa point guard position.
Baguio. That's Raimundo switching out on him. Inabot pa, papunta kay Tos. The sweeping hook is good. Parang ito, boss.
Notice hindi natin masyado nakikita yung triangle offense ng Alaska. They're doing a lot of handoffs and ball screens. But it's something that Alaska is using to tackle din depensa ng Barangay Ginebra. But I think to the basics, they go to the triangle because yan ang kanilang comfort zone.
Urbistondo unleashes one. Ulan ng 3 dito sa Moa Arena.
The knockdown shooters are in the house para sa Gin Kings. And just
Good
like
sign.
that, 6 na kanilang kalamangan.
Good sign because they're now spacing the floor. They're giving an opportunity for the big guys later on to try to attack the basket from the post area.
Toss from deep. Gets the basket. May kasama pang foul.
With Casio being contained and Rocher not getting his points. Cyrus Baguio looking at the other points of attack. And Santos delivering on offense para dito sa mga Alaska. Eto na si Galvin Abueva.
Mega Force play muna ang ating silipin dito. Atin sa inyo ng Mega Force, tibay at lakas. At habang mag-free throw, ito si Sunny Tos. Ginito, pasadahan na natin ang deeds list. Unahin natin yung para sa Alaska.
For Alaska, forget the edge that they're 1-0 in this series and that they've beaten Barangay Ginebra 3 times this conference. Importante sa kanila, focus on this game and stay aggressive. Man down on the floor.
Technical ang naitawag dito kay Joshua Urbistondo.
Sinalya niya rito si RJ Hazul. Akala natin offensive foul lang itatawag pero natusok itong si Joshua Urbistondo.
Here's another angle, Coach Ronnie.
A lot of jockeying between those two players.
So a personal foul is whistled on RJ Azul pero may technical foul because of that second motion dito kay Urbistondo.
Azul on the line. Well, anyway, continuing with our Dean's List for Alaska. Number 1 is pack the paint. Importante sa kanila that Barangay Ginebra doesn't get those second chance opportunities by putting the big guys in the painted area, playing the virtual zone, especially against Vernon Macklin. Number 2, no easy baskets, no transition points, no leak outs for Barangay Ginebra. Number 3, yung bench firepower. That was 37-29 ang advantage ng Alaska in second unit players scoring in game number 1.
Yan ang ating mga tututukan para sa Alaska as we go along. 17-15 is the score. Alaska roaring back to within 2. Meron ng foul way before that shot at them. RJ Azul whistled for a second person. Hatfield now part of the 5 para dito sa mga nakaputi. Kasama niya si Tenorio, Macklin, Urbistondo, and Chris Ellis. Tenorio to Urbistondo. Here's another 3. Talas that time around. Casio gets it to Azul. 2-on-1. Abueva asking for it. Stop and pop. RJ couldn't dial it home. Macklin clears it. Here comes Tenorio. LA spinning against Dozier. Pero hindi matanganan ni Espinas.
Really, Tenorio has taken majority of the shots for Ginebra here in the first quarter. And it is with reason. 10 of the 17 points, binuhos itong si Tiniente.
Kailangan ng Barangay Ginebra na yung inspiration manggaling talaga dito kay Tenorio.
At wala si Mark Cagiwa na two-guard scorer para sa Gin Kings. He's the leading total scorer for Ginebra. But before game 1 of the finals, he missed 11 straight games. Doon naman nabuhay dito yung matinding production. Itong si LA Tenorio, itong si Chris Ellis, at si Kirby Raimundo.
LA going 3 for 8 so far from the field. At habang mag-free throw, itong si Vernon Macklin. Pasadahan na natin ang Dean's List para sa Ginebra.
For Barangay Ginebra, burst the bubble ang kanilang team song sa larong ito. And that's because they have lost 3 straight games to Alaska in this conference. Number 1, they have to beat the closeouts ng Alaska. They go out to the outside shooters ng Barangay Ginebra, so they have to be ready to make those shots. Pangalawa, speed kills. Yung transition game, yung 3-guard alignment ng Barangay Ginebra, that has to dictate the tempo of this game. Pangatlo, untangle the triangle. Nakita natin, comfort zone ng Alaska is to play the triangle offense. We don't see too much of that. But if they do run that triangle, Ginebra must be ready to untangle it.
And with this pressure in the backcourt, dyan ba mababasag yung pag-seta pa lang ng triangle, Coach
That
Ronnie?
is the plan para dito sa Gin Kings. Understanding the fact that Alaska played deep minutes for the 10 players that played for them in Game 1. Ang Ginebra gumamit ng 14 players. At ito ang game plan ni Coach Al Francis. Gumamit ng dalawang maliliit na guardia, play small, play quick, and then allow Josh Orbistondo to set the tone sa kanilang backcourt pressure.
Ngayon, pinalitan na muna dito si Orbistondo. JJ Helterbrand secures that tip para dito sa Ginebra. Helterbrand kontra Azul. Sumabay ng pasok para sa Alaska. Ito naman si Ontiveros. Another deep three. Tenorio not that time around. Dozier for the board. Azul to the beast. Apueva running into Rudy Hatfield. That's a blocking foul on the H-bar.
Sinasabi ng referee, hindi nakapag-establish ng defensive position si Rudy Hatfield in that call. But first knockdown here on Calvin Crush.
Ay, 2 points yan. Candy Crush yan.
Ayan.
Pero pati si Hatfield kasama, 2 points yan. Abueva and Hatfield.
Yun, dalawa kasi ang bumagsak.
Combo hulog.
Yun. 2-hit combo.
At itong si Calvin Abreva na kasama si LA Tenorio na front runners, best player of the conference awardees ay patuloy na talagang nananalasa sa kanyang mga nakakasagupa. Grabe, different kind of a pest itong si Calvin Abreva.
Pero natawagan pa ng technical foul itong si Teniente Tenorio because of complaining about that call. Ay pasok naman ng Alaska yung technical free throw as we send it over to Sal Guevara.
I love haters. Ika nga ni Calvin Abueva, and for this final series, ang basehan niya ng dominance sa Alaska ay kung mapatahimik na ang Ginebra crowd. Todo ensayo si Calvin Abueva sa kanyang depensa because anyone can be his man from Ginebra, pati ang mga scores ng Gin Kings. Dapat niyang mapatahimik dahil masarap daw ang feeling pag nagawa niya yun. Balik sa inyo.
Ikaw,
Talaga
Coach
nagiinis, ano?
Hindi, tsaka, Datin, ang swerte natin dahil nandito si Coach Ronnie Magsana. Yung last year ni Calvin Abueva, Sensei, natutukan mo to. Every single game through that entire season. Ikaw ba, nabuisit din sa kanya?
Nag-visit ako na ang galing niya. Pero dito sa PBA, nadala niya yung galing niya. At higit sa lahat, yung villain's role, he was able to embrace it and he likes the spotlight. But more than that, even if he talks, he uses his stellar game to back up whatever he says. That's what's making him a big attraction dito sa ating PBA.
You know, you're so right. Because he delivers. Yun ang
Madaling magsalita. Mahirap. Kung bakit pa ng salita?
He backs the talk. He walks the talk.
As we invite everybody to sign up now for the multi-sports weekends at Microtel by Wyndham Eagle Ridge, Cavite. Call 899-7171 or log on to microtelphilippines.com. Microtel by Wyndham, a better place to stay. 18-17, baba na sa isang abante rito ng Ginebra. Ellis gustong dagdagan, the pull-up doesn't work. Dozier with yet another rebound. Pang-apat na yan para dito kay Robert. Ontiveros on the catch, galing kay Espinas. Hatfield bats it away from Abueva. Espinas ended up with it, loses it, recovers. Gabby, Robert Dozier for the throwdown.
D-Mac was forced to get or challenge itong si Espinas as he tried that fall-away shot. That left itong si Dozier with that big side putback.
Less than 2 minutes remaining for quarter number 1. Macklin and Abueva getting entangled.
Looks like a foul.
Oh, look at Macklin and Abueva. Binibigyan ng dagger look si Macklin. Ito si Calvin Abueva.
Diba nasalyan na niya si Calvin doon sa game 1 of the finals, no? At patuloy itong si Calvin in playing physical game, playing his physical game. And look at this, bumping itong si Macklin on that baseline exchange. Pero yung second motion dito ni Dima, ay tumama. Dito kay Calvin Abueva.
Pero hindi yata nahuli ng ating officials when Macklin took a swing at the head of Calvin Abueva.
That's above the shoulder.
Macklin lucky once again to get away with that one.
Tandaan natin na meron ng isang technical foul si Coach Luigi Trillo. Kaya kanina, nung nagpo-protest siya bigla siyang lumabas dun sa linya. Dahil alam niya, mahirap na.
Ito, pampalamig muna ng ulo. Our Fresco Fresh Face brought to you by Rain or Shine Fresco, the first and only odorless, antibacterial, and 100% elastomeric paint.
Again, just one shot attempt here from Barangay Ginebra coming from the outside. Macklin still not too many touches in offense from Barangay Ginebra because The defense of Alaska is not allowing it.
Ontiveros gets Alaska another possession. Ellis swipes it away though. So dire-diretso sa outside yung bola.
Coach Francis Chua making sure that BMAC plays off the ball. Ang ginagamit siyang point of attack kanina si L.A. Tenorio, maging si Kirby Raimundo. However, si Robert Dozier hindi binibigyan ng mga second chance opportunities itong si Vina kung kaya ang kanyang talaan na puntos dito sa first quarter, napakababa pa.
Look at the touch passing by Alaska. Dozier though clobbered from behind.
Importante rito for the Jays. Nakuha na nila yung magandang start na hindi nila nailabas doon sa Game 1. Kanina pumosta sila ng 7, humabol ang Alaska. Now they need to make a series of adjustments once again.
Espina's in trouble. Shot clock winding down. Espina spots it up and bails him out.
Oh, tough shot there by Gabby Espinas. Shot clock almost out on Alaska. Yun ang sinasabi natin na poise.
Bench scoring, mabigat, ano?
Somehow they're able to get those points.
Ginebra looking for the open man. Helter Brand obliges. Rebound battle lalabas in favor of Ginebra.
The fight for possession is so crucial in this game number 2. Alam ng Ginebra kailangan nila makapulot ng mga second chance looks at alam ng Alaska na kailangan nila makontrol ang battle of the glass.
Steal by Abueva. He's racing against Ellis. Stretches up. Ontiveros is there to clean it up.
A good trail job here by Alaska.
Grabe. The rookie with the takeaway and the veteran with the putback. 4 na ang kalamangan ng Alaska. Pinakamalaking kabante ng aces here in the first.
Less than a minute remaining in quarter number 1. Ginebra goes to Ellis. Power move through 2 defenders. Picks up a foul on either Ontiveros or Dozier.
Well, that aggressive move, I think, is what Barangay Ginebra needs. Alam natin, Alaska, a lot of wide bodies inside the painted area. They're protecting the rim. You need to be able to challenge those big guys and go to the line, get the contact. 7 players from Alaska have now scored in this game. You remember, napansin natin before this game, 6 players in double figures for Alaska in game 1 and only 2 for Barangay Ginebra.
As we take a look at this Ontiveros Rexona power rebound brought to you by Rexona Men with 50% more long-lasting protection so you can do more.
Coach Francis Chua sensing that Ginebra was having a hard time getting baskets, getting points sa ng half-court set, sends back in itong si L.A. Tenorio.
Abueva gets it across, taking it all the way. Tim Macklin. Espinas, though, is there to save that possession.
Those second chance opportunities are hurting Barangay Ginebra.
That's going to happen every time BMAC goes out to help. Last line defender is present, weak side rebounder will then expose that weakness.
Rebounding story now, 14 for Alaska, only 9 for Barangay Ginebra.
Three-pointer is hit there by Chris Ellis. Last shot time para sa Alaska. JV Casio, well aware of the time, gets it to Espinas, trying to beat that buzzer. Would have counted if it went. Pero dyan na rin magtatapos ang ating unang 12 minuto ng aksyon. It is the Alaska Aces with the fight back, taking a 2-point lead. 25-23 is your score. After a solid start by Barangay Ginebra kung saan lumamang sila ng hanggang 7 puntos at 11-4, etong Alaska Aces has come right back, took a 4-point lead and has now settled for a 2-point lead as we open the second quarter of action. 25-23 is your score. Mag-umarchan po kasama natin si Coach Ronnie Magsanok and the Dean Quinito Henson. The Dean, how did Alaska wrest control of this game as we take a look at that Dozier block?
When you go back to the team's list, ginagawa nilang tama as you take a look at, oh, what a nice pass and a block. Free throws coming up for Abueva. Yung sinasabi natin kanina about tagging the paint, but a good job of taking away the offensive rebounds ng Barangay Ginebra. No easy baskets in transition for Barangay Ginebra. They did not score a single second chance point in the first quarter, increased their bench power 12-5. Advantage ng Alaska's relievers for the Ginebra second unit players.
As we invite everybody na makisummer saya na sa Paddy's Point. Avail of 4 bottles of any strong beers for only 100 pesos during happy hour or 1,000 pesos worth of food and drinks on peak hours and get a chance to win 3 iPad minis. Tara na kabarkada, visit the nearest Paddy's Point. Coach Ronnie, ang tanong ko naman sa'yo, ano ang nawala sa Barangay Ginebra in the tail end of that first quarter kaya na-surrender nila ang kalamangan?
Well, nawala yung perimeter scoring nila. Mabigat ang kanilang outside shooting. They've scored 15 of their first 23 points from the 3-point area. Pero nung nawala si LA, lumaylay yung kanilang looks from the outside. Lucky for them, Chris Ellis was able to nail that tip 3 before the end of the first. Dahilan kung bakit lumikip sila sa last pasok sa second quarter.
Billy Mamaril goes glass, kasama niya sa sahig etong sina Helterbrand, Tenorio, Meyerhofer, and Ellis. Binabantayan niyan sina Ontiveros, Casio, Dozier, Velasco, and Abueva.
And notice no Macklin in the lineup here for Barangay Ginebra to open the second quarter.
Meyerhofer running into Velasco. Overshoots the mark pero took the brunt of the contact and will move the line for 2 shots.
Mac played a total of 40 minutes in game 1. Alam ni Coach Al Francis Chua na pag sila ay nakadikit, ibig sabihin maganda ang performance ng kanyang local unit. Gives him ample time to give Mac fresh legs. Na nakita natin in the tail end of game 1, medyo naglimp itong si Mac ng third quarter all the way to the fourth. Gusto niya sariwa itong si Mac sa kanyang pagsabak dito kay Bulldozer.
Ginebra assistant coach Alan Kaidik sandwiched by VMAC and Mark Kagiwa. Kita natin yung game number 1 in that second quarter. Nung walang mahanapan ng inspirasyon si Coach Alchua, pinasok niya si Mark Kagiwa. How did you like his running up and down? How did you like how he looked? Malapit na ba sa 100%?
It's always difficult coming off an injury, especially on the MCL layoff. 11 games hindi siya nakalaro, maglalaro ka sa finals. Maski na mahusay ka, maski nag-MVP ka, tao ka lang, mahirap yan. But he made it a point to sacrifice yung kanyang personal na mga production, trying to inspire the rest of his team. Pero sabi nga niya, eventually, as the series goes deeper, minimal minutes pa rin ang kanyang pwedeng laruin.
Parang Willie Street in that game 7 of the New York Knicks series when they beat Los Angeles Lakers yata.
Correct.
By the way, kanina, another second chance opportunity for Alaska at nakakuha ng putback si Dozier. That's because Macklin is not around. They need him also to protect the basket on the defensive end of the floor.
Abueva kontra dito kay Ellis on that right baseline. And away from play, there is a foul. Mamaril and Dozier nagkiskisan.
What Calvin Abueva can bring in terms of physicality para dito sa Alaska, kayang ibigay yan ni Billy para sa kubunan ng Ginebra. Yan ang hinahanap dito ni Coach Al Francis Chua. Sino ang matchup mo sa bugbugan laban dito kay Dozier? Who seems to be an immovable force underneath. He did that to Denzel Bowles. He's been squeezing the life out of VMAC. Kaya ito, ikaw naman ang magparupok dito kay Bulldozer, sabi ni Coach Al, dito kay Billy Mamaril.
Pero binalik na rin dito si Vernon Macklin para sa Ginebra. Kasabay pa niya si Billy Mamaril. Step back jumper, Rob Dozier will miss. Tenorio for the rebound.
And that time, no offensive rebound for Alaska because Dozier took the shot from the outside.
Ellis misses. Macklin looking for the putback stuff is fouled.
You have to like what Chris Ellis is doing here. Continuing to attack the basket, even if Rob Dozier has continued to be a defensive blanket para sa Aces. That will leave the weak side rebounding looks para dito kay Bino.
Macklin takes care of that first free throw.
Maka-atake ka lang eh. Makapasok ka lang dun sa heart ng depensa. Meron nang mangyayari. Iba talaga. Meron kang tama sa labas at meron kang umaatake papunta sa loob.
At saka it breaks down the defense inside. Yung sinasabi natin, packing the paint inside. If you're able to penetrate and you draw the defense towards you, then it opens up opportunities for Macklin to get the offensive rebound and the putback, which is exactly what happened.
And the floor spacers were able to deliver already the first quarter. Di man na. Ang tama nila from the
pointers.
Therefore, ang closeout ng Alaska, laging closeout lang yan. Pwede ka nang umatake.
Dozier looking to muscle his way through. Traveling ang naitawag sa kanya.
Makikita mo dito yung mga matchup ng mga coaches. Locals are taking on the reinforcements. Ayaw mo na ma-foul trouble agad yung mga imports mo. And the local defensive matchups are doing a good job containing their respective coverages. Toss on Macklin and Billy on Rob Dozier.
And the whole idea is to move them away from their comfort zone. Kanina nakita natin si Dozier putting the ball on the floor Oh, nice.
What a recovery galing dito kay
Grabe.
Dozier.
But they had the right idea. Nakapag-penetrate sila and they had almost a backdoor play. Nantulan si Dozier because that wingspan of his is tremendous.
Asho in traffic, gets it to Thos. Nice up fake. Nakagat doon itong si Chris Ellis. No other recourse but to give up the foul.
Those imports will dominate with their scoring. But this is a totally different package to meron ito si Dozier. It reminds me of a Rosel Ellis who can dominate the game using his defensive intensity. His energy on defense, his demeanor is exactly what Alaska needed. And he was able to put the aces on his back because of his defensive toughness from the start of this conference.
Ako, I call him a chemistry player.
Yes.
He's not a 50-point scorer or even a 30-point scorer. He's capable of doing that. He did have a 28-point game. But in game number 1, 14 points, what about his 22 rebounds?
Nice reverse. Galing dito kay Ellis.
Once again, continuing to attack the basket. Dozier was forced to help on the double high. Chris Ellis sumagitsit dun sa bandang gilid.
Dozier at the post.
Nobody's doubling.
Mamaril holding his own. Shot clock is at 5. Thos, napakalayo pa nito. Puts it on the floor. Sonny loses that leather. Tumama pa sa kanyang paa bago lumabas ang bola.
What Alaska is missing here is the production from JB Casio. He is the best floor spacer para dito sa Aces. And as a result, nakaka-match up ng maayos ang Ginebra dito kay Dozier, maging dito kay Sonny Thos.
Blanco pa yung point production sa tabi ng numero neto ni JB
Oo,
Casio.
magandang barometer yan para sa depensa ng Ginebra.
As Tenorio lines this one up, hintis ka lang Dozier with yet another board. Pang-11 na yan para dito sa import ng Alaska. Baguio passes it up to Dozier. Nakita si... Oh! Nabitin yung talon neto ni Sonny Thos. Nakaltag pa siya on the follow.
Pero walang tito Play goes on, but Sonny Thos will miss.
And down again. It's become very, very physical. Sonny
Hindi
Thos
na
had to
Calvin
be
Crush, Oops! And again.
Mamaril and Ontiveros, second time around.
Bago matapos ni Kinito yung sinasabi niya sa unang banggaan nila, pagpikit itong ating mga mata, pangalawang banggaan na. Dito may mapipituan na.
Billy Mamaril this time around, making sure na makita ng referees yung bangga sa kanya. Kalahin mo, ganun katindi yung pagkabagsak niya.
And then a kick adjustment right away by Coach Luigi, putting in a different matchup. It's all about matchup. You talk about any series na nilalaro ng ating mga kupunan.
At nakita din natin si Don Tiveros. Siya din ang babagsak in that situation.
Yan yung mahirap sa mga coaches kung paano mo iisipin yung mga matchups. Papasok mo, itutwik ng kalaban mo, coach. Ipapasok niya, hahanap ka na naman ng magandang matchup.
Elterbrand over to Macklin at the post. Dalawa kalaban. Macklin bounces it to Ellis. Goes reverse. Ang lalim doon. Rebound battle na kay JB Casio. JB on the move. Goes to the left side. Napitawan. Rob Dozier looking to settle things down para dito sa mga Alas.
Oh, nice pick and roll right there.
Oh, but Billy Mamaril ties
Defense
him
was
up.
there.
Billy is looking to exhaust all his personal fouls if he needs to, just to wear down itong si Rob Dozier. Every foul, he makes it a point na maramdaman itong si Rob Dozier.
But that time, maganda yung floor spacing ng Alaska.
Hindi
Maganda
naka-show
the pick and
itong
roll.
si Vima.
Yes,
Nakita ko
oo.
pagod na pagod siya. And Dozier just able to roll to the basket. Billy was the last line defender forced to give up that foul.
Take a look at some of the aces. Yung angas na mga Alas lumabas talaga ng game 1.
Muna sinasabi natin about 6 players from Alaska scoring in double figures in game number 1 compared to just 2 for Barangay Ginebra.
Majority of those points created by your initial defensive stops. Kung titignan natin yung first quarter talaga, ang naipanalo ng Alaska, 28-6. But the rest of the last 3 quarters, nakuha yun ng Ginebra. But eventually, the big hole was too much for them to be able to overcome.
Yung naipundar nila was enough. It was
That
enough
big.
the rest of
That
the
was
way.
big. In fact, Barangay Ginebra outscored Alaska
The
in the
rest of
second
the way.
half.
Yes, the rest of the way.
And it was a tied second quarter. But the big difference also was in the assist department. Alaska moving the ball well, getting a high percentage from their shots, while Barangay Ginebra only with 13 assists against 25 assists for Alaska. Ngayon, titignan natin, how are both teams doing here in the assist department? Are they doing the right things in being efficient? Well, right now, Alaska with 5 assists, Barangay Ginebra with 8 assists.
Orbistondo from the corner. Tumito na yung ating officials even before that attempt.
Pang stepping ang tinawag dito kay Josh Orbistondo. Kanina si Josh ang nagse-set up dito para kay LA. Ngayon naman si LA ang nagtitimon para sa Ginebra.
Nabanggit natin about the assists discrepancy in this ball game. What about the turnover situation? Alaska with 8 turnovers and only 3 for Barangay Ginebra. So Ginebra with the advantage in those two departments, but it's in the scoring department. The field goal percentage, Alaska has a high percentage. They're shooting 42%, Ginebra only 30.
Alaska now up by 6 points, forcing Coach Al Francis Chua into yet another timeout. 6:42 natitira sa ating... Patuloy ang aksyon dito sa loob ng MOA Arena as we take a look at this coat saver miracle shot. Calvin Abueva on the run with the hook. It's a coat saver miracle shot. And that was part of that Alaska run that has given them this 6-point lead, 35-29.
Biggest nila dito kasamang Magu.
Noticeable absences dito sa second quarter. Tenorio hindi pa nakaka-score. And Macklin throughout the game so far has not hit a single field goal. Lahat ng puntos niya, 3 coming from the free throw line. So yung depensa ng Alaska, again, proving very efficient.
Abueva misses from the outside. Coming up on the halfway mark ng ating second quarter. Tenorio in the lane, kicks it out. Barangay looking for the first 3-pointer of Ginebra in the second quarter. Couldn't hit from within.
Wow.
Abueva gets the leather. Abueva pushes it hard, gets it to Espinas. Kinaliwa pa. Andudog si Dozier to clean it.
Talk about bench scoring once again. Calvin Abueva flexing his muscle. Gab Espinas showing us his biceps. Walo na ang abante rito ng Alaska.
And what about Rob Dozier's offensive rebounding and the putback? Yun ang mga hindi nagagawa ni Macklin dito. And he misses the point blank range and doesn't get the offensive rebound.
Look at Abueva going coast to coast. Cleanup job missed by Cyrus Baguio.
Hindi ka tumatama from the outside and even your inside gunners are not able to deliver. You have to work harder sa inyong transition defense.
Mega Force move yan. Nahatid sa inyo ng Mega Force. Tibay at lakas si Espinas. Cleaned up his own mess. Yun ang lakas ni Gabi Espinas.
Pag hindi ka bumaba, masasaktan ka talaga ng sunod-sunod na puntos and this is exactly what Alaska is doing to the defense of the Gin Kings.
Azul, who has been lighting it up from all over the court in the last few games para sa Alaska, is fouled. Bistondo napituan sa pagkakataong yun, and with 5:13 remaining in this first half, etong Ginebra will be in the penalty sa susunod na foul na kanilang pamimigay.
Only 6 points so far in the quarter para sa Gin Kings compared dito sa 12 puntos ng Alaska Aces.
That's 18% scoring from the field for Barangay Ginebra. Big difference here in the second quarter. Yung rebounding advantage ng Alaska. You're seeing that in the offensive rebounds. 5-3 ang kanilang edge.
Dozier misses. Raimundo tracks it down. Orbistondo over to Macklin. Macklin inikot papunta kay Raimundo. Para kay El. Gets it to Orbistondo. Lalabas kay Tenorio. Go. Azul picks it up. Pushes it hard.
That's unforgiving defense by Alaska. Nakita natin the closeouts. And Macklin didn't even bother to attack the defense. He needs to be more aggressive. Even if it's Dozier on him, he's got to be aggressive.
Azul off the turnaround. Misses on that 3. 37-29. Alaska with the largest lead of the game. Mahigit 4 na minuto natitira sa ating first half. Tenorio looking for Raimundo. Boom! Huli ka ni Gabi Espinas. 5-on-4 the other way. Abueva.
And again, Alaska using its vaunted defense to create scoring looks. Grabe, choking defense, closing out, no open 3-point looks. B. Macklin contained Ginebra only with 6 points here in the second quarter.
Right now, leading for the points is Barangay Ginebra.
pagod na pagod yung Ginebra, makikita mo.
This is the first double-digit spread of this game. Kirby Raimundo, though, changes just that.
They needed that basket. The force spot has to be able to deliver para sa Gin Kings. Dahil nag-off the ball itong si VMAX. Sino nga atake? As Gabby Espinas once again showing us that he's a fine off-the-ball defender.
Pero as that Kirby Raimundo shot went in, there was a foul whistled on Mac Maracael. Sa rebound battle niya dito kay Abueva. Ang binanggitan natin, penalty na. Itong Ginebra, so 2 shots para kay Abueva.
If you are Ginebra, you just want to make sure that you stay close and disallow Alaska from building a double-digit lead heading into the second half. Mahirap maghabol. Gusto mo lagi kang nakadikit.
Well, big counter here for Barangay Ginebra is that they wanted to use their speed with a transition game. Ngayon, nauunahan na sila ng Alaska sa takbuhan. Naiiwanan sila.
As we take a look at our Fresco Fresh Face, brought to you by Rain or Shine Fresco, our first and only odorless, antibacterial, and 100% elastomeric paint. Maragael hits his 6th point of the contest, and that keeps Ginebra within 8 points.
And that's a good sign that Barangay Ginebra finding a range from outside. Again, man down.
Calvin Crush once again.
Once he gets under your skin, maapektuhan ang talubong. We saw this in the Sun League series. Initially, Sun League got the upper hand in game 1 of that series. Sabi nga ni James, kiss muna. But after that game 1 win by the Sun League Coffee Mixers, Abueva was able to really impose his pesky personality sa kanilang kalaban.
Coach Ronnie, iimbestigahan ng ating officials. Anong klaseng foul nga daw ba yun? Was that a regular foul, flagrant 1, or maybe even a flagrant 2?
Tatlong beses ng banggaan that looked like half swing.
That's gotta be a flagrant foul.
Kumonekta.
Oo,
Pero kanina pa yan, may pinanggalingan dito yan sa opposite end. Lahat ng nagsasalubong ay nagmamanggaan, nagmabalikatan. Pero yung mas...
Flagrant foul penalty 1 whistled on Mac Maracael, which means makakabalik lang siya sa ating laro sa 16-second mark na itong second quarter.
That's a 3-minute setup. Yes.
The Gin Kings have to keep their temper in check. This is not a lost cause for them. Although they are behind by 8, na-figure out na nila kung paano sila lalamang kanina. Ngayon, ang iisipin naman nila as we cross over the lemon time break barely with 3 and 16 left. Ano naman ang adjustments na gagawin nila? Base sa counter adjustments, ay pinukul sa kanila ni Coach Luigi Trillo. At ang kailangan ni Coach Al Francis, kompleto yung rotation niya. Kompleto yung substitution pattern niya. Dahil kung pati yun, magiging problema niya, mas mahihirapan sila rito sa hamon ng Alaska.
Lalong-lalo na itong si Mac Maracael. As we take a look at our 5 picks, 1 word for today. Nadine, anong tingin mo dyan?
Madali yan.
Ako, kinaibayaw pa, well?
Yan po ang ating ulan. At kung gusto nyo makita ulit yun, puntahan nyo lang yung Facebook account natin dito sa ating coverage team as we head into this Alaska timeout. 41-33, it is. With just over 3 minutes remaining in the first half, Cyrus Baguio buries a 3-point shot. At ganun-ganun lang, biglang pumanik na sa 11 ang abante ng Alaska, 44-33. Magumar John kasama si Coach Ronnie Magsanok, Nadine Quinito Anson with Sal Guevara patrolling the sidelines. Ito po ang game number 2 ng finals best of 5 ng ating Cebuana de Villar PBA Commissioner's Cup playoffs. Mac Maracael in the freezer. Penalty box muna siya for the next 3 minutes of action or 2:32 na lang dahil umandar na ang ating orasan. Big block from behind Ontiveros pero picked up by Macklin. Kirby, fancy pass to Ellis. Naputokan na sila ng 24.
And again, Alaska's rock solid defense disrupting any point of attack by the Gin Kings. Not even an attempt at the basket para din sa muna ng Ginebra.
Actually, 2 shot blocks by Alaska in that sequence.
Pero si Dondon Ontiveros pa yata nakurbo doon sa huling hagupit ng shot block niyang yun. He is being checked now by the medical staff of Alaska.
Ginabol niya yung loose ball, no?
Dozier over to Casio. Pulls up for a 3. Bam!
Very simple. Ball screen, J.D. Casio using the big set by Dozier. Easy shot coming from Alaska.
Nagsisimula ng kamaga ang abante na back inside the Mall of Asia Arena kung saan ang Barangay Ginebra nag-iinis sa kanilang atake. At the 2-minute warning of our first half, Coach Ronnie, Barangay Ginebra early in this game led by as much as 7 points. Pero ngayon Alaska has taken total control. Barangay Ginebra's in a world of trouble.
Sabi nga natin, yung depensa rito ng Alaska ang bumubuhay sa kanila at yun naman ang sumasakal sa Ginebra. LA Tenoro shot 10 points in the first quarter, but after that, talagang manaka-naka na lamang ang scoring from the perimeter para sa Ginebra.
Mapapag-usapan natin yung depensa ng Alaska. In this quarter alone, ilan na ba ang block shots sila? You've got 6 block shots in this game.
Inside goes Glass. At ganun-ganun lang, 16 na ang abante ng Alaska.
24 points for the Aces in the second quarter compared to only 10 para dito sa Gin Kings.
Ronnie, nakita natin sa first quarter kanina yung 5 3-pointers ng Barangay Ginebra. Here in this quarter, not a single 3-pointer scored by the Kings. But ang Alaska doing well from the outside. They've got 2 3-point conversions. Nag-reverse ang tide when it comes to 3-point scoring. And you know how important that is for Ginebra.
That acrobatic layup by Ellis stops the bleeding para sa Ginebra. Pero Espinas is having his way underneath.
Bench scoring once again abundant here for the Aces. And as a result, down by 7, now on top by 16.
8 puntos na para dito kay
Mabigat
Gabby
yan, ha?
Espinas. Bonus na bonus yan para dito sa Alaska as Tenorio rattles this one, finally breaking his own slump.
First 2 points for LA here in the second quarter. But Ginebra still down by 14.
Kalahating minuto na lang natitira sa ating first half. Alaska wanting to keep the momentum heading into the dugout. JP Cashel delivers from deep.
Scoreless in the first. 6 points later in the second, pushing Alaska to a 17-point advantage kontra dito sa Barangay
And the big
Ginebra.
problem of Barangay Ginebra, their 3-point shots aren't falling. At si Macklin, not a single field goal conversion in this game so far. They're digging themselves into a deep hole.
Ginebra looking for the last shot. Hilterbrand loses it. Cashel looking to tap it over, and that'll do it for the first 24 minutes of action. What a run by the Alaska Aces as they take a 17-point lead. 54-37 ang nasa ating talaan sa pagtatapos ng unang 24 na minuto ng aksyon.
You're watching Game 2 of the finals here in the Sabana Lulier PBA Playoffs. Kita nyo naman, nagtipon-tipon ang mga fans ng Barangay Ginebra Kings, pati na rin ang Gatas Republic. Punong-puno na po ang ating mga arena, pati na rin ang isang taga-outer space. Mr. Astronaut, ano po ang masasabi ninyo dito sa Barangay Ginebra at Alaska Game? Akala ko naman kung sino astronaut, yung pala si Jeff Chan pala. Akala ko ba nagpe-prepare ka para sa PBA siya?
Nasa break kami ngayon eh. Starting Monday.
Oh, okay. So, ngayon na naka-astronaut outfit ka pala. Ibig sabihin ba yan, pinapangarap mo nung bata ka maging astronaut?
Siyempre, kasi gusto ko makapunta ng space. Sana makarating din ng moon.
So, ibig sabihin, isa ka na palang ex-astronaut?
Oo, kasi nag-register na ako eh. So, inintay ko na kung manalo ako, hindi.
So, titignan natin yan. By the way, Ex-Apollo is available here on Earth. Finals at kasama ko ngayon, mga kalahi ng Barangay Ginebra, Jukes, and of course, Jong Hilario. Guys, kapag nakakalamang ang Alaska, syempre napapakapit kayo sa upuan ninyo, ninenervyos kayo.
Sobra. Tsaka tumatahimik.
Sabi ko nga, ito nga, no comment na nga kaya. But anyway, also, how does it feel to watch a PBA game live? I know you guys have a lot of busy showbiz schedules.
Grabe, sobrang intense, lalo na yung upuan namin. So ang lapit-lapit dun sa ring. Grabe, sobrang saya.
Alam ko ikaw, Jong, dancer ka, napapasayaw ka ba kapag nakakashoot ang Ginebra?
Sobra, parang gusto ko nga tumambling pag nakaka 3 points sila no. Pero iba talaga nga yung energy ng live audience Kumbaga parang itong mga fans ng Ginebra, iba talaga yung yung sigawan, yung pagmamahal din sa Ginebra, kaya todo support, grabe.
Okay, there you go. Maraming salamat, Jukes and Jong Hilario. Looking forward to see you guys at the end of the game. Huwag po kayong alis. This is Game 2 of the Finals, PBA Commissioner's Cup.
Mall of Asia Arena kung saan itong Alaska has taken control of game number 2, 54-37 ang nasa ating talaan. Mag-umargin po ang inyong lingkod. Kasama pa rin natin Coach Ronnie Magsanok and the Dean Kinito, Enson, bago natin himayin yung mga numero, gentlemen, silipin muna natin yung ilan sa mga kapanapanabik na pangyayari mula sa unang 12 minuto ng aksyon. Barangay Ginebra off to a hot start. LA Tenorio bailing them out there with a deep 3. 49 ang score sa pagkakataon na yon. Pero etong Alaska came roaring back. Rob Dozier coming up with a monster slam after this wild sequence. Espinas will miss. Fernando doon si Dozier to clean it up. Tapos si Dondon Ontiveros nakapag-ambag na rin early on para dito sa mga Alas. Alaska was down by 7 early on pero nakalamang ng hanggang 4 na puntos courtesy of their hustle and their putbacks.
LA Tenorio took charge of the first quarter para dito sa kumpanan ng Ginebra, but second chance scoring and frontline scoring enabled Alaska to overtake the Gin Kings at the end of the first 12 minutes.
A big burst from Ginebra in terms of three-point shooting because they had 5 three-pointers in that quarter.
Pagdating naman ng second quarter of action, it was almost all Alaska. Hindi na tumatama yung 3-pointers ng Ginebra pero itong si Calvin Abueva nagparamdam na rin dito sa loob ng MOA Arena. Abueva with a miracle shot of a hook sa pagkakataon na yun. Tapos more of Gabby Espinas in quarter number 2. Pangklase talaga ang tinutulong neto ni Gabby Espinas.
All defense on the part of Alaska dun sa second quarter. Nakita natin the defense translated into good offense on the other end and still more second chance points para sa kanila.
Tapos may pinapansin mo to, Coach Ronnie, early on hindi nakakapag-ambag sa puntos si JV Casio till late in that second quarter. Sunod-sunod naman ang kanyang napagdikit-dikit doon and he did it from deep. JV doing what he does best.
It triggered 2 3-point baskets and as a result, Alaska was able to build its largest advantage at 17 points.
Well, doon sa second quarter, only 28.6% shooting for Barangay Ginebra. Makita natin 6 block shots in that quarter. For Alaska, 3-point shooting, all of a sudden, wala na for Barangay Ginebra. Sa free throws, mas maraming Alaska. And look at the efficiency in terms of assist to turnover ratio.
So dito, pagdating ng second half of action, bukod to sa 3-point shooting, as we take a look first at our 5 picks, 1 word para sa larong ito. Ikaw, Coach Ronnie, ano nahula mo dyan?
By a vowel lang ako eh. Ayun, may isa.
Yun! Nakinig sa'yo!
Oh, nice.
Oh, yun ang ating 5 picks, 1 word. Punta kayo sa Facebook page ng ating coverage team to try and guess kung ano ang sagot dyan. Bago natin tanongin dito sa dalawa nating katabi kung anong kailangan gawin ng Barangay Ginebra, makibalita muna tayo kay Miss Sel Guevara.
Even if the Alaska players don't want to celebrate yet, Angatas Republic is already looking forward to the second half. And as for the Ginebra players, hindi sila sabay-sabay lumabas from the dugout. Iba sa kanila tahimik, iba sa kanila nakasimangot, at iba pa sa kanila they were nodding their heads as if they were saying no. At simple paalala lang naman ng kanilang coach na si Al Francis Chua, huwag magpadala sa lamang ng Alaska, Mabu.
Thank you, Sel. Ito na nga, no? Barangay Ginebra down big to open this second half. Kinito, what do you think etong Barangay should do, especially at the onset of this third quarter?
I'm feeling ko, they need to be able to dictate the tempo, and that means they've got to work double time in defense. Prevent those transition baskets ng Alaska, those easy points, especially coming from the offensive rebounds. So they need to be able to box out those offensive rebounders ng Alaska. On the offensive side, I think it's important that their outside shooters click. Nakita natin kung ano nangyari sa first quarter when they had 5 three-point conversions, but all of a sudden, that 3-point shooting disappeared sa second period. They need to be able to get that back. Yung sinasabi natin kanina sa Dean's List, they need to beat the closeouts of Alaska. They need to be able to speed up the tempo. And then Macklin, he has been a non-factor offensively in this game. You know that he's capable of scoring big time. He's done it before in big games. Now is his opportunity to show what he can do. He only has 3 points so far, not a single field goal converted.
Isa pang dapat magpakita dito, the Dean and Coach Ronnie, itong si Mark Sparkagiwa being deployed by Coach Al Francis Chua to start this third quarter. Tondo nga lang will miss on that 3. Do you see, Coach Ronnie, any let-up dun sa depensa ng Alaska here in the
None
third?
at all. The DNA of Alaska was all over the entire 24 minutes of the first half. At makikita natin how they wore down the offense of the Gin Kings. Kaya itong si Coach Al Francis Chua biting the bullet and putting in itong si The Spark na si Mark Kagiwa.
Pull-up jumper overshot by Kagiwa there, pero Urbistondo gets them another possession. Kagiwa puts it on the floor. Puta pa inabot dito kay Tony De La Cruz.
They had 7 blocks at the end of the first half. Total of 8 right now para sa Alaska Aces. Individual defense. Highly accountable ang Aces, but the last line defenders are also always present to take away those open driving lanes.
Lapang nakakabutas dito sa ating second half. Nanakaw sana si Kagiwa papunta kay Urbistondo, pero naipit din siya ng depensa. Tenorio loses that leather. Abueva on the run looking for Dozier. Abueva right there to get the 2 points.
Another Candy Crush. Mali pala, Calvin Crush. Dalawa tumumba pero Alaska muling pumoste. 19 ang kanilang aban.
Ilan na ba yung knockdown ni Calvin Abueva sa laro? Hindi natin nabibilang.
Backlin underneath Urbistondo misses pero merong foul.
Ang Coach Al Francis has no recourse but the ball forward and knocking on the ball. Points of attack nila checked already with LA Tenorio shut down after scoring 7 of the first 11 points para sa Gin Kings. D-Mac only touches in the first 24 minutes. Kailangan dumaan yung bola sa kanya to create scoring looks para sa mga outside gunners ng Ginebra.
At sabi nga natin kanina, Ronnie, this guy can score. We've seen it before, but he's got to have his opportunities.
As we invite everybody to spend the weekend at Microtel by Wyndham Tarlac for only 3,600 pesos net per night. Call 899-7171 or log on to microtelphilippines.com. Microtel by Wyndham, a better place to stay.
As for Barangay Ginebra, it all starts with defense. Magu, Ronnie, how they're able to limit Alaska and then get chances on the other end.
I think it will boil down to effort and energy para dito sa Gin Kings.
Casio has the shot clock winding down. Toss with a bailout. Back irons that one. Tenorio with a running start. Pero wala rin sumabay sa takbuhan. LA going coast to coast.
Look at the sprint down by Robert Dozier, battling for the offensive rebound and then able to get that defensive rebound on the return play.
Toss goes reverse on the follow.
And then he never gets beaten here in the secondary break ng Alaska. Something that they don't want to happen and something that happened time and time again late in the second quarter.
Well, not only that, again, the second chance opportunity for Alaska. No? They're getting those second chance points and they're getting the offensive rebound.
Amaril stops the bleeding somewhat para dito sa Ginebra. Out in full force pero nandirito rin ang brain thrust ng Barangay Ginebra.
Well, newly re-elected Congressman of the 1st District ng Tarlac, Congressman Henry Cojuangco, is here to watch this game. But wanted to point out, at the end of the first half, ang Barangay Ginebra, 37 points. You make that times 2, and that's 74 points. And we know that Barangay Ginebra is 0-6 in terms of record when they're scoring 80 points or less in this conference.
And they continue to struggle getting stops here. Another bailout shot para dito sa Alaska pushes the lead back up to 19. Mamaril hit the last jumper, goes to Kagiwa. In and out on the three-pointer. Abueva looking to save it.
3 looks so far para kay Mark Kagiwa, but nothing so far on the board. D-Mac continues to hobble down the court. Hindi natin alam kung may iniinda, hindi natin alam kung may sakit, but definitely they need his A game here in the final half.
D-Mac has been banged up. Napansin na natin yan even back in game 1. Baguio unleashes one. Dozier keeps it alive.
Again, another opportunity for Alaska. Yung offensive rebounding has
It's all about possession count.
Yeah.
The battle for possessions will give you more looks at the basket. Yan ang dahilan kung bakit 19 na ang abante rito ng Alaska.
Multiple possessions and opportunities to score.
Wow.
There it is again. Man down on the floor. There's a man down.
JV Casio lights it up as etong si Urbistondo, yung defender niya, has tumbled to the floor.
After being scoreless in the first quarter, suddenly itong si JV Casio already with a total of 9 points built on 3 line drives.
And ito si Urbistondo clutching on to that right knee. Take another look at what happened there.
Sumabit siya sa tuhod ni Sanitos.
He went tumbling down, pero the good news is that si Urbistondo is walking to the bench on his own. Actually, he is staying in the game. And he has some choice words for the boss, Sonny Thos. Ayun, nag-uusap pa rin sila doon sa kabilang dulo.
It looks like the Bistoners being changed.
Sinaba na siya, pero
Yes.
dinapitan pa muna niya si Thos to give him a piece of his mind.
Bago siya bumalik, si Labagala is now in the game for Bistondo.
First time in the game para dito kay Rob Labagala. Let's see if he can inject that energy that Coach Al Francis is looking for. They go to Macklin underneath, gets the basket, and looking the line for a bonus play.
And that's a touch.
They need to get him his touches on this. They have to live and die with Vernon Macklin right now. He was able to push this franchise to the playoffs even after a 0-4 start.
Mang Tomas Macho Ganado move yan. Sang boting Mang Tomas. Patok sa mga macho ng buhay nyo. Mang Tomas Macho Ganado.
Nakita natin, na-front siya ni Sonny Thos. And the way to do that is the high-low way. Give him a lob pass and he was able to get the touch and the score.
And Kinito and Coach Ronnie para dito kay Bimac. Pang-anim na puntos pa lang niya. Yung 3-point play na yon. He looks to stop Thos here. Thos
Field goal
garbage
yata
space.
niya yun, Maguire.
This is Abueva clobbered on the face. This ball foul will be whistled on Kagiwa.
And yet another opportunity for Alaska on the offensive rebound. But you notice the hard work that Macklin had to do to stop Sonny Thos. On the other end of the floor, who's the guy that Macklin is going to be able to go up against? Hirap na hirap.
Man down here para sa Alaska. But Calvin Orrego once again showing us his nose for the basketball. Getting 2 hits.
Two-hit combo rin yun. Paano bilang nun sa Calvin Crush?
Wapak.
Yung isa yung isa pak.
Yes. Yun ang nagkabagsak sa kanya.
Baguio's one-hander doesn't work. Tignan mo naman yung kiskisan sa ilalim na wala na headband ni Mark Kagiwa. Abueva's on the floor and manages... Ano nangyari? Yun, natapak na siya or tumama na yung katawan niya sa baseline.
Tanggal ang headband dito ni Mark Kagiwa. Kaldagan sa ilalim. Non-stop.
Big question is for Barangay Ginebra, who can apply pressure on those years' defense? You see kanina, no? Tos is a guy who can really challenge the defense of Macklin. But who's the guy from the Ginebra side, from the offensive side, who can challenge those years' defense? Those years actually leaving off his man to play help defense.
He's done that in the series of the Sunny Coffee Mixers versus the Aces
Yes.
with a lot of success.
The pass and the Fierce now on the floor. Nagpintis ka lang. Etong si Helterbrand. Baguio over at the other end. Passes it out. Velasco to Abueva.
Wow.
Abueva held back by Mamaril. Not wanting to give up the layup.
Closure creating that scoring look para kay Calvin Orrego is a silent operator who is a dominant force on defense and also able to create scoring looks para sa kanyang mga kasama. A simple screen, frees up Calvin Orrego who was fouled and will go once again to the free throw line.
And the beauty of the way Alaska is playing is that they have a lot of floor space.
Oo.
Laki ng space nila that they can operate.
As we invite everybody once again na makisummer saya sa Paddy's Point. Avail of 4 bottles of any strong beers for only 100 pesos during happy hour or 1,000 pesos worth of food and drinks on peak hours and get a chance to win 3 iPad minis. Tara na kabarkada, visit the nearest Paddy's Point near you. Tama ba yun? 64-44. 20 ang kailangan bunuin ng Barangay Ginebra. Mamaril, hindi niya mabawasan. Velasco with a big rebound. Casio looking to settle down the Aces, wanting to reinstate their biggest lead, which once stood at 22. Dozier kontra Mamaril. Handoff papunta kay Casio. Foul before the attempt.
Malaking tanong dito, can Ginebra match up individually sa kanilang mga babantayan because Alaska has proven that they are able to handle their individual matchups versus Ginebra here in the series.
I think the answer to that question, Coach Ronnie, is which bench players will step up here for Barangay. You see, on the other side of the floor, Alaska's bench players have really stepped up and contributed big time.
No doubt about that.
Barangay Ginebra has seen enough. Game 2 ng Best of 5 Finals, laban ng Barangay Ginebra at Alaska. Pero so far, itong Alaska sa ikalawang pagkakataon sa bakbakan na ito nakapagtayo na ng 22 puntos na kalamangan. Magumarjon, Ronnie Magsanop, Ginito Henson with Cel Guevara. And coming off another Ginebra timeout, Rudy Hatfield comes up with an air ball.
Kung
Yung sinasabi natin kanina about the bench contributions, so important here, especially when the second unit players of Alaska are providing a lot of firepower.
Shot to Dozier. Out to Velasco. He launches a three. Short para kay Nick, pero Dozier keeps it alive. That offensive rebounding of Alaska has been hurting Ginebra all night long.
Another extra possession sequence here para sa Aces, courtesy of Robert Dozier.
Baguio lines it up. Just crazy. Oh, he gets his own rebound.
Multiple effort, multiple possessions para dito sa Aces, 22 sa kanilang abante.
Right now, they're quicker to the ball. And I guess fresh legs on the floor because of the good pacing of Coach Luigi Trillo. Reaping dividends. Here's another offensive rebound.
And Hatfield just said,
the foul.
mamimigay na lang siya ng foul dito. Dahil walang makakuha ng rebound para dito sa Ginebra.
Rudy Hatfield caught on with the collar. And I think it's just an act of frustration on his part.
He wanted to go after Dozier matapos mag-react ni Dozier sa foul na pinamigay niya. The veteran Nick Velasco there right there to try and keep everybody in check.
And that would have been an easy 2 points. That would have been a duck for Dozier kung hindi siya hinawakan ni Hatfield.
Another fresh shot clock. Fifth try on this offensive para sa Alaska. Baguio finally delivers.
That's got to hurt para dito sa Ginebra. Down by 24, they gave up a series of extra possessions and then they failed to stop that last Alaska play.
Multiple possessions there for Alaska. Right now, second chance points is 12 for Alaska and 0.
Sila magala, mabawasan ng tatlo yung sangkahon na hahabulin nila. Just over 5 minutes remaining in the third.
First 3-point basket para dito sa Gin Kings since the first quarter.
Azul, ano isusukle? Helterbrand all over him. Iiwan para kay Velasco. Azul once again has 7 to work with. They swing it around. Baguio all night. Bang!
Wide open shot, not challenged.
Not quick enough to close out. And Baguio will make them pay. Akit muli sa 23 ang kalamangan ng Alaska. Everything going well here para sa Alaska Aces.
Yung kanilang ball movement.
Long to lang daw para dito kay Cyrus Baguio. Macklin wanting to attack Velasco. Macklin spins, loses his footing. Hatfield underneath, bitin. Baguio with a leather, rushes up. Barangay Nebra's defense this time around, keeping in step with Alaska. Fancy pass, Baguio to Dozier, not ready for it. Macklin over to Labagala. It's a 4-on-2. They get it to Helterbrand. Nakita ba si Hatfield for layup? Back inside the MOA Arena kung saan wala ng 4 na minuto natitira sa ating ikatlong yugto. 21 ang abante ng Alaska. Labagala with a steal. Kagiwa pitches it over to Robbie and he gets the layup. Barangay Nebra going on a run.
Well, 2 straight easy baskets for Barangay Ginebra. Yan ang kailangan nila. No? They need to be able to get their rotation, their rhythm back with easy baskets. And I think they need to play tough defense here. With 3:28 to go, they can keep this lead down to maybe 14. Then they'll have a shot at it in the fourth period.
Hatfield clears it. Golden opportunity para dito sa Barangay Ginebra. Labagala wanted Kagiwa to clear out. They want to get Macklin going. He's been stuck at 6 points. Helterbrand to Kagiwa. Here's a 3. Rattles out. Hatfield underneath. Tinuwa pa ng ring. Azul saves it. Hatfield steps out of bounds.
Would have been the best run para sa Ginebra since the first quarter. They needed that run because Dozier was seated on the bench. This break-up play will enable Dozier to make his re-entry and this will allow Alaska to cut this brief siege by Ginebra.
As we welcome our Ulalam Malamasa fans of the day. Mula sa masarap, malaman, mura at convenient kasi easy to open. Ulalam ready to eat ulam. Para sa masa, malamasa, Ulalam, 15 pesos lang. Boss operating against Hatfield. The looper doesn't work. Dozier gets them another possession though.
I don't know how he does it, but he does it so well.
And he's very active. And he reads where that ball is going. So nakaka-position siya for the offensive rebound.
Macklin though playing the passing lanes. Less than 2.5 remaining in the third. Helterbrand looking for Macklin dun sa poste. B-map contra Floss.
Here's that zone defense na sinasabi natin that Alaska likes to use when Macklin has a ball at the post.
Kagiwa against 2. Out to Labagala. Nothing but air on that shot.
This is the most number of minutes that Mark Caguioa has played in the last 13 games. Game 1, saw him play for 5 minutes. Ngayon, mahaba-haba na itong nilalaro ni The Spark.
30-second timeout requested by Alaska here. 70-51 ang nasa ating talaan. 19 pa rin ang abante ng mga Alas.
Ang nabanggit mo si Mark Caguioa is going 0 out of 4 from the floor. But Coach Al Francis Chua using him for the motivation and the inspiration factor, getting his teammates to get fired up.
As we take a look at our Fresco Fresh Face, brought to you by Rain or Shine Fresco, the first and only odorless, antibacterial, and 100% elastomeric paint.
Ginebra with the change-up sa kanilang depensa. Hindi maliwanag sa akin kung 2-3 o 1-2-2, but definitely it's a zone defense that Ginebra has thrown at Alaska in the last few sequences.
Right now, ano yan? 1-3-1, ano?
Nakamarka lang kasi naka 1-2-2 formation niya, pero nakamarka ka na sa high post para hindi malibre.
2-minute warning ng ating third quarter. Ginebra looking for the stop. Alaska looks to bury them once again. Cascio with a pull-up. Up and under.
That's the reason why that timeout was called, to put sanity in the execution against the junk defense thrown by Ginebra.
Balik sa blackjack ang abante ng mga Alas.
And on the other end of the floor, you see also a virtual zone being played here by Alaska. So it's tit for tat now for both these opposing coaches.
That zone-like formation always appears when Gina touches that ball in the post.
Yes.
Closure will float in the middle of the paint, and then parang naka-double team na siya, and that's why the outside gunners have to step up. But since the first quarter, when Ginebra was blazing from the three, wala na silang makuwang sunod-sunod na puntos from the outside.
Helter Brown on the catch. Trying to pump some life into Barangay Ginebra here.
If they can get this into the lead to at least about 13 heading to the fourth, things will look brighter para dito sa Ginebra.
However, though, exploiting the lack
Alam
of
niya. Alam niya.
mobility of Caguioa dahil nga sa problema niya sa tuhod.
Very clear. That matchup there favors Abueva. Mark Caguioa really not able to keep in step with the quick stepping Calvin.
JJ though starting to heat up. 5 consecutive galing dito kay Helterbrand. Cuts this deficit to 18.
The big reason why Alaska was able to overtake Ginebra was they were able to contain the three-point shooters of the Gin Kings in the second quarter.
Boss in trouble. Out to Azul. RJ misses. Rebound battle. JJ Helterbrand secures it. He pushes it up. JJ has Dozier to deal with. They look for the mismatch. JJ looking to slice through. Nice stopping move. Everything but the shot para kay Helterbrand.
And by the way, Barangay Ginebra playing with the Fast and the Furious on the court again. Helterbrand at saka si Caguioa together. Ano nga yung tatak? Together again?
Yan. Gusto ngayon nag-premiere
Tama.
Up, steal by Tenorio. Looking for Macklin on the run.
Hindi makatakbo si Vima, kitang-kita.
Yeah, he couldn't run, he couldn't attack,
LA for 3. No go.
and no lift on his jump.
You can see that he had the home run.
Yeah,
But he had no quickness, he had no final push, he had no second gear.
Pero minsan yan na nakikita natin pagdating ng PBA playoffs, ayaw nilang kinikwento ang mga tama nila. So ngayon maliwanag na maliwanag after that last sequence, hindi lang si Caguioa may problema sa tuhod, parang pati si
Halata yun.
Vima.
Walang arangkada eh.
yes.
Hindi makasegunda, lalong walang quinta.
Ayan ngayon, pinagpahinga na muna ni Coach Al Francis Chua. Etong si Vernon Macklin. Azul goes over to the corner. Espinas for 3. Mamaril para sa board. And that'll do it for the first 36 minutes of action. 74 para sa Alaska, 56 para sa Ginebra. 12 minuto pa natitira dito sa loob ng MOA Arena. Nagbukas na nga po ang fourth and final quarter. Game number 2 po ito ng best of 5 series. Alaska, Barangay Ginebra para sa Commissioner's Cup. So far lamang ang Alaska 1-0 sa ating serye. At etong si Nick Velasco has pushed their lead back up to 21.
Huge basket. He's missed all his field goal attempts prior to the three-point conversion. Let's see if that will solve that 1-3-1 defense by the Gin Kings.
Well, that was very clear. The 1-3-1 defense ang pinakita ng Barangay Ginebra on that zone. But yes, ball movement and getting the outside shot.
finally, Mark Kagiwa nails his first points since making a comeback.
Kasama ni Kagiwa sa sexy na Tenorio, Helterbrand, Mamaril, and Hatfield. Kalaban etong sina Velasco, Azul, Ontiveros, Abueva, and Espinas. Both squads going all Filipino. Abueva with the leather. Tenorio bantay niya. For the shoot. He launches from deep. This Espinas gets the rebound.
Hindi naman nagmamadali ang Alaska right now. They're sitting on this big lead.
Oh, look at the eye in the sky play.
And there's a foul underneath.
Oh, Helterbrand caught holding on to Calvin Abueva.
Good eye contact.
And you know, the danger again when you're playing a 1-3-1 zone defense is that sometimes you're caught guarding space. That last man on defense should have rotated to make sure that Calvin would not have that shot inside.
Well, the bottom man of the 1-3-1 is staying home with the roaming guy underneath.
Yes.
As we take a look at Coach Dean Cone.
And also former Commissioner Noli Ayala enjoying this game. Or are they enjoying this game?
Parang hindi pa muna. 78-58. Ginebra down 20 points. Foul whistle there.
The biggest run ng Ginebra.
We want to remind everybody na bukas po magpe-premiere na dito sa TV5. Kung naalala niyo po, nung Philippine Cup, yung Active Insider, ngayon po, na-rebrand na siya or na-rename as Buhay PBA. Bukas po mapapanood yan dito sa TV5 bukas ng gabi. 78-60 is the score. 10 o'clock ng gabi po, mapapanood yan at ang unang handog yung naging serye sa semifinals netong Alaska Aces kontra San Mig Coffee.
Robert Dozier is seated. BMAC is also resting. Locals versus locals. Ginebra needs to make a run, a decisive run in the next few minutes.
Makibalita nga muna tayo kay Sal Guevara.
It was obvious that Vernon Macklin also couldn't run, and right now he doesn't have any serious injuries, but he's very, very tired after being double-teamed many times by the bigs of Alaska.
Thank you, Sal. Mukha bang pagod lang na hindi niya... Si Azul na lang kanina that late in the third quarter yung fast break opportunity na hindi nakatakbo si Macklin. Si Azul na lang kalaban niya.
And we will have to take his word for it. But definitely he had no legs to be able to generate one or two more strides to score against a much smaller last line transition defender.
And that would have been a perfect opportunity for him to dunk because sabi mo nga, just a couple of strides. You know how tall he is. Oh, dalawang strides.
6'11" yan.
Vernon Macklin seated on the bench has only contributed 6 points on 1 field goal. Binanggit mga kanina, Coach Ron.
Ganun katumal ang binibigay na puntos ng Alaska Aces.
Kagiwa to the corner. JJ unleashes one, overshoots the mark. Abueva nagtinikling pa doon sa baseline to save that possession.
Sasabihin mo bakit tira na tira sa labas. Hindi ka maka-atake sa loob eh. That is the only thing that Alaska is willing to give up. We talk about their tough defense.
Espinas kontra Hatfield. Over to Abueva. Flips it up and out. Helterbrand para sa board. Tenorio on the run. Ontiveros to deal with. Tenorio couldn't carve out the space. Raimundo to Kagiwa. No looks it over to Hatfield. Gets the basket. May kasama pang foul.
Not that good ball rotation. Lot of touches there. When Barangay Ginebra is moving the ball, looking for the assist pass, making that extra pass, the likelihood is they'll have a good shot.
It was the quickest move I've seen of Mark Kagiwa since his comeback.
Mega Force ang naghatid sa atin ng move na yun. Hatid ng Mega Force Tibay at lakas.
Closest that Alaska has been to Ginebra since the start of the third.
Hatfield misses on the bonus though. Pero at isa lang ang kailangan habulin dito ng Barangay Ginebra. How will Alaska respond? Robert Dozier running out of space after his offensive rebound will give possession back over to Barangay Ginebra. Isa lang ang abante rito ng Alaska. It was at a high of 24 kanina. Raimundo from the outside gets the 2 points.
Second pop play between the two, between Raimundo and Tenorio, but you're noticing that the lineup of Ginebra now on the floor, it's got a lot of veterans there. The only one who's less than 30 years old is L.A. Tenorio. He's 28.
And the Barangay Ginebra faithful making themselves heard. Tonton Ontiveros answers the call with a booming triple.
That's a dagger. Galing dito kay Ontiveros.
Pamatay sunog yun.
I was about to say, Ginebra's 1-3-1 defense holding ground, disallowing Alaska inside looks, and even Jonas from the outside.
Oh, what a pass! Tenorio to Raimundo. That's the deficit to 15 once again.
Well, breaking out of the silence and attacking the inside. If Barangay Ginebra, they're getting points because they're making that pass. They're making the extra pass and finding open guys.
Ontiveros once again.
Back-to-back threes coming from Ontiveros.
We've been talking about bench scoring all game long. Dondon Ontiveros coming off the bench. Calvin Abueva coming off the bench.
9 puntos na ang contribution dito ni Dondon Ontiveros as JJ Helterbrand is starting to make noise. He's got 8 on his own. Casio to the corner. Abueva passes off to Thos. Huli from behind ni Kagiwa.
Abueva slicing into the defense of the Kings. Extra pass to Sanitos, but Kagiwa giving the extra effort to deny Sanitos that easy basket.
Ontiveros na naman. Ontiveros na ulit.
That will make you rethink whether to stay on with that 1-3-1 look, because Dondon Ontiveros has stepped forward to be the zone buster para sa Alaska Aces.
Cebuano hotshot making them pay. Tatlong dikit-dikit na tres yun. Tenorio to the corner. Baseline attack. Raimundo is fouled by Dozier.
All in all, dito sa ating fourth period, already 4 3-point conversions for Alaska.
Still no G-Mac para dito sa Ginebra.
Yes, hindi na bumalik si
Has
G-Mac.
not played in the fourth quarter.
Take another look at that three-pointer.
That's good recognition coming from JB Casio. Understanding na sumasagitsit ng mga kamay itong si Dondon Ontiveros.
Raimundo kontra Dozier. Pull-up jumper. At lang sa ring ang resulta noon with 6:45 remaining in game number 2.
Masyadong mabibigat yung pinukol ni Dondon na tatlong sunod na tres. Different angles, same result para dito sa Cebuano hotshot. And just like that, pinutol mo yung buhay ng uprising ng Ginebra.
Here's Macklin back on the floor.
And now they change up once again to man-to-man.
Baguio couldn't get the fifth three-pointer of the quarter para dito sa Aces. Tenorio looks up court, less than 6.5 remaining in this game. LA goes to Helterbrand, fakes a pass, now goes to the left. Raimundo down the gut of the defense. Macklin didn't secure the board, Thos outboxes him. Here comes Dondon Ontiveros. Dondon in traffic, almost lost it. Dozier to Thos, reverse is good. Alaska cannot be stopped inside the MOA Arena. 89-68. Just when Barangay Ginebra was banging on that Alaska door, naibaba nila sa 14 ang kanilang inahabol dito. Etong Aces has turned to the long ball courtesy of Dondon Ontiveros. 3 booming triples gives Alaska control once again. 21 na naman ang abante ng Alaska rito. Mag-umargin po kasama natin si Coach Ronnie Magsanok and the Dean Quinito Henson. Barangay Ginebra has 6 minutes and change to try and make up this 21-point deficit. Tenorio from Helterbrand goes to Barangay L. Mac short, toss, rebound.
Kung hindi ako nagkakamali, 4 na 3-point baskets para sa Alaska during the final quarter. That is 12 out of the 15 points of the Aces coming from the long court. Tatlo kay Dondon at isa kay Nick Velasco.
Alaska Ginebra, ni isa, wala.
Alaska now looking for the killer blow. Toss contra Raimundo. Sonny, left-handed layup doesn't work. Tenorio gets it down court. LA against 2. They swing it around. Raimundo, jab step fake. Ayaw naman kumagat ni Dozier. Raimundo's in trouble. Turns it over. Oh, Macbaragael somehow got that leather and gets the reverse layup for himself.
Ginebra is looking for one final push, a major uprising, a late siege to turn things around. Alaska is looking to hang tough, still ahead by 19.
Casio kontra Tenorio. Dozier comes out. Ayaw naman gamitin yung pick. Casio all the way. Everything but the shot. Raimundo to Tenorio. Nagmamadali dito ang Barangay Ginebra. Tenorio to JJ for a 3.
That's a big basket from Coach Al Francis Chua. If they need to come back, they need to make that run now. The lead is down to 16.
Alaska missing 2-point blank looks. First from Cross, again from JB Casio.
Now Coach Luigi wants Sa harap ng kulang-kulang 18,000 PBA fans inside the MOA Arena, etong Barangay Ginebra is trying to mount their last stand as we take a look at our Fresco Fresh Face, brought to you by Rain and Shine Fresco, the first and only odorless, antibacterial, and 100% elastomeric paint. Alaska goes to Sonny, loss for the reverse to stop that 5-0 run by Barangay Ginebra.
Pakita sa ring trap ng Barangay Ginebra kanina, but again they found the guy loose on the inside, and Macklin, no reaction defensively. He's having difficulty. You know that he's feeling something. He's not the same Macklin that we saw before.
Yung mga ganyang klaseng tira takes away your spirit if you're on the opposing end. Dahil naghahabol kayo, kinakain mo yung kalamangan, pero walang katapusan yung paghihirap.
Tignan naman natin ang ating Calvin Crash for this game number 2. Yun ilang beses na nga. Pangatlo na. Hanapin natin yung pang-apat. Pang-5 para dito kay Calvin Abueva. He has really sacrificed his body here for the cause of Alaska.
Parang stuntman,
He's gone down so many times, but he's still smiling. Okay lang sa kanya.
He loves the role.
Well, yeah, big reason to smile because they're up by 18 with 4:11 to go.
Pero itong Ginebra only has 2 seconds to get this ball across the timeline. Helterbrand well aware of that fact. Dahil naipit nga sila kanina kaya napuwersa in 30-second timeout. Just over 4 minutes remain. Tenorio to JJ. Here's a 3. Punches it through.
That was a contested 3, but JJ will not be denied. 15 pa rin ang abante ng Alaska. Ginebra looking for one final push.
Ontiveros gets it across. Attacking Helterbrand. Dondon, the veteran, gets it over to Dozier. Alaska wasting away the time. Casio kontra Tenorio. Si-switch sa kanya si Macklin. JV goes cross-court. Baggio for 3. No. Rebound battle. Lalabas in favor of Alaska. Hindi, kinorek ng officials yung kanilang sarili. Ginebra daw ang bola.
When you notice in that play, Dozier did not really look to score. He's a type of an import who's not really looking at the basket. He's a chemistry player, getting everyone involved in the offense.
Tenorio for 3. In and out. Rebound battle. Casio picks it up kontra kay Raimundo, and Alaska will once again waste away the time.
Pero big basket para dito kay LA. In and out para dito kay Tiniente.
Casio, nakikipagsayaw dito kay Barangay. Switch sa kanya si Macklin. He pulls the trigger. Matalas. Tenorio with a running start. Dozier to deal with. LA making a spin.
Well, they call the foul on Dozier.
That would put Alaska 5 personal fouls.
So was that one even in the act of shooting?
LA had Mac Barakel with him, losing his balance, wheeled down by the foul.
May last foul to give para dito sa Alaska Aces.
And they get called for a technical foul.
So much emotion being shown here. The players on the floor, as well as the personalities at courtside.
So a technical foul for improper bench decorum is called on the Alaska Aces. Helterbrand makes him pay with a technical free throw. Wala ng 3 minuto natitira dito. Ito na yung pinakamalapit na nailapit kanina ng Ginebra. Now they have possession, pero pwede nilang ilapit pa.
JJ, the architect of this huge uprising by the Gin Kings.
Arakael will line it up. In and out. Rebound, Raimundo bothers Dozier.
But another possession for Barangay Ginebra.
Inbound from the baseline. Tenorio maglalabas. Over to Raimundo. Kirby attacking Dozier. Off the pirouette. Goes glass by 2 points.
The locals have really picked up the cudgels here in terms of offense for the Gin Kings. Lead sliced to 12.
Nangangalampag na dito ang Barangay Ginebra. 2.5 minutes for Alaska to try and hold on for a 2-0 lead. Dondon drops it off. Dozier gets the 2 points.
Excellent look coming from Dondon. LA shutting down JD Casio. Dozier with that nice basket.
Helterbrand over to Macklin. Nakita si Raimundo, the pull-up jumper. No, Kirby with his own board. Kirby with a power move. Dalawa. Nasa si Macklin to clean it up.
Fair basket para dito kay Vernon Macklin. Once again, hobbling down court. Twilight zone na tayo rito. Ginebra still generating this final push.
Ang 8 puntos pa lang yan para dito kay Vernon Macklin. Pero what a time for those two to come. Baguio with a three. No. Tenorio with a rebound.
That's just a 12-point lead. And in this situation, Ginebra really needs to step it up.
Oh, Tenorio!
Oh, yes.
Goes reverse, finishes with a left hand!
10 points lead, 137 to go. This is the run that we were talking about. Barangay Ginebra needing this. Even if this game has slipped away from
Gusto nyo bang sariwain yung naging bakbakan ng Alaska at San Mig Coffee in that best of 5 semifinals? Well, tutok po bukas para sa kwentong PBA. Alas 10 po ng gabi, mapapanood yan dito sa TV5 as you join us back inside the MOA Arena. A minute and 37 remaining. Alaska trying to hang on. They led by as much as 24. 10 ang abante nila sa juncture na ito. Abueva puts it on the floor. Gets it to Thaw. Spinning to the reverse. No, Dozier ayaw pa rin. Dozier puta kay Macklin. Pero merong foul.
Abueva breaking down the defense of the Gin Kings. Isolated at the top. Enabling Dozier to secure another possession. And he gets hammered. Will go to the line for 2 free throws.
Well, he had the offensive rebound. Nakita natin dito. Try to put back and then got the rebound off his own miss. And there's that's a hammer foul.
Got it right on the head.
Watch it from a different angle. Tinamaan sa ulo. And Dozier going down.
Dozier was down for the count pero picks himself right back up. 2 free throws parating. Para dito kay Rob Dozier.
12 points so far kay Dozier at the end of the third. Pero dito nakapunto siya kung di tayo nagkakamali. Kanina ng isang putback o isang roll to the basket.
He's got 14 points, matching his total game number 1. And he now goes over that total.
As we take another look at our 5 picks, 1 word. Dozier splits. Rebound battle napulot ni Tenorio. 15 points, 18 big rebounds para dito kay Dozier. Tenorio in traffic, kicks it out. Para kay El, in trouble. Gets it out to Helterbrand. Mahaba pa naman yung shot clock. Pero game clock is winding down. JJ to Barakel for a 3.
We talk about never saying, never giving up.
Very patient in working for that 3-point shot.
The question is, will this be enough para sa Ginebra given the time left in this final quarter?
Macklin gambling. Toss. Held down by Barakel. Gets the basket. Kasama pang foul.
Sanitos.
Big bucket.
Very rare do you find Sanitos showing emotions. But here, applauding himself after that very smart shot fake. And he will get a bonus. Alaska now on top by 10.
Game number 1, Sanitos, responsible for 8 of Alaska's last 10 points. He's proving himself down the stretch.
Sonny calmly sinks the bonus. 49.8 remaining. Tatawag ng timeout. Back inside the Mall of Asia Arena. 49.8 seconds po ang natitira. The Alaska Aces, courtesy of the boss Sonny Thoss, back up by 11 points.
Big difference here is in the rebounding story. Alaska is plus 17 in that department, generating a lot of possessions. Those multiple possessions have been crucial in giving Alaska more opportunities to score.
VMAC is not even inside here para sa Gin Kings.
Barangay Ginebra not giving up though. They go for the quick 2. Raimundo obliges, cutting this deficit to 9.
Ako, it's important, even with less than a minute to go, that Barangay Ginebra continues to play with further ferocity, put pressure on Alaska, thinking and looking forward to game number 3.
Pero
They need to make this close.
Pero right now, they will be challenging the Alaska Aces sa free throw line in the final 44.6.
Major uprising by the Gin Kings. Unfortunately for them, kinapos sa oras. But they're hoping that Cyrus Baguio will miss 1 or 2 free throws. But it makes the front end.
First one rattles on though as we remind everybody, Game 3 ng Best of 5 na to will be this coming Sunday sa Smart Araneta Coliseum po yan. Alas 7:30 ng gabi. Live on TV5 pa rin. As Coach Alchua will call for another time. Back Back inside the MOA Arena kung saan may dalawang timeout pang natitira ang Barangay Ginebra. Ang Alaska isa na lang pero meron pa silang one foul to give. Will they use it right here, right now? Helterbrand with a quick release. Long two, stepping on the line. JJ delivers though.
Now you're seeing Barangay Ginebra finding its rhythm, relocating themselves, looking for the shots, being very aggressive.
JJ wanted that three-pointer though. Problema, bago siya nakapreno, natapak na yung kanyang kuko sa linya as JB Casio will be tested.
Alaska was shooting at a 77% clip from the free throw line heading to the fourth quarter. And so far here in the dying seconds of this ball game, they have been proving that they are ready for this type of a situation. These are pressure charities that they're converting.
Sa harap ng kulang-kulang 18,000 paying fans, capacity tayo dito. Ginebra hoping against hope here, Coach Ronnie. Naghahanap pa ng milagro si Coach Al Francis
At
Chua.
hindi sila aayaw at hindi sila talaga bibigay. Pero itong Alaska ay kumakasa rin sa lahat ng ibinabato ng Ginebra dito sa bandang dulo.
Pero even the Ginebra faithful, talagang taimtim ditong umaasa na makakabalik pa ang
They have
barangay.
stayed on.
Yes, and yung sinasabi natin kanina, no, that as far as Alaska is concerned, they need to forget that they have a 1-0 edge. They need to forget that they're on top with 37 seconds to go. They need to stay focused, aggressive, looking forward to game number 3. And for Barangay Ginebra, the same.
And
They
si
want to
Co-
be able to make this even closer.
Coach Al Francis Chua, sumenyas na, wag na mamigay ng foul. It'll be 2-0 in favor of Alaska. Game 3 is gonna be huge this coming Sunday, Coach Ronnie.
Alaska was able to make the necessary adjustments, I think at the midpoint of the first quarter, enabling them to overtake Alaska at the end of the first. And eventually they found their group once again, anchored on their defense, and Dondon Ontiveros shooting hands work wonders for the Aces late here in the fourth.
On Dondon Ontiveros with the exclamation point from deep. Yung tatlong tres na dikit-dikit niya
Mabigat
dito,
shot.
yun ang pumatay kanina sa Barangay Ginebra.
Mabigat talaga, no? That three-point shooting of Alaska, and also their bench scoring, their rebounding advantage.
And the front line scoring,
All of those contributed to this big victory. Big question mark for Barangay Ginebra is how healthy will Macklin be for game number 3?
So 104-90 is your final score. The Alaska Aces taking a commanding 2-0 lead in this race to 3. Coach Al Francis Chua and the rest of Ginebra will have to dig deep. Best player of this particular ball game, Ginito, none other than the boss, Sonny Toss.
Napili natin si Sonny Toss. Big contribution here, 16 points and 8 rebounds. He challenged the inside defense. Ni Macklin, make him work hard. And they say, just one more.
And that one more, hahanapin nila this coming Sunday sa loob ng Smart Araneta Coliseum sa ngalan ni Ginito Enzo, ni Coach Ronnie Magsano, ni Sel Guevara at sa lahat ng kasama natin sa van headed by Francis Upilio.